What if I told you that there's this kind of weird manifestation technique that works, but you're gonna have to think about things in a little bit different way. But if you just did this, it would make it way more probable that you would attract what you want into your life, and it would make it also much easier and much more enjoyable. Well, this weird manifestation technique is what I use to, in a way, manifest this house. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of the word manifest because of a lot of times what it implies and what I see it does. I know for me, for a long time, I was intending to manifest, going full-time on YouTube and manifest different things in my life. And I was also confusing the word manifest with just thinking. And rather than being in alignment, being in the vibration of it. So manifest for me, and even the word Manny, I think Manny actually means hands, which means taking action as well. But there is a part of non-doing to where you can vibrationally allow things into your life. And it's what I use to get this house, which is very synchronous. And I want to explain that story with you and pretty much how I have moved into every house that I've had over the last 5 years. I've used this exact technique, and you can use it for getting an alignment. You can use it for manifesting a relationship, for manifesting money, abundance, whatever. It's a little bit weird, but it really works. So in this video, we're going to be talking about that right now. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. And in this video, I want to explain to you the story behind how I manifested this house right here. Can you see it? It's this house right here. It's a beautiful, I love this house. Just moved in like 4 or 5 days ago. And what I wanted to do is just kind of share the process to this, because it's kind of, there's a lot of transitioning happening in the world right now, I think, for a lot of people. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. I know coming out here, I'm in Austin, Texas now. Before I was in Sedona, Arizona, not that long ago. And Sedona felt right in the moment, but there was something that I guess kind of felt like that was missing for me. And then there was this like aspect of myself where I try to control things and I'm trying to figure it all out. And I'm feeling resistance and feeling uncertain of like being in the unknown sometimes feels scary, or feels like, something I want to gain certainty. And there was a part of me that for a while was trying to figure out what is the next move in a way. Like here's how invested I was as well. But I want to share with you a little bit about how this whole story went down with how I moved here, because it'll also give you that weird manifestation technique that I've used many times before. So basically what happened is back in January, I bought a house in Sedona. I bought this house that I had to renovate, and I got it at a good time. I got this house. I put like literally $200,000 into it to renovate it, to make it look completely different. And there was a whole bunch of like also little hiccups that came up with the house as well. Like it needed pretty much, I had an inspection on it and everything, but for some reason they didn't catch a lot of things in the inspection that they should have. And it needed like a whole new roof. It needed there were like rodents that went into the crawl space, and I had to like get that fixed, which cost like $6,000 to $8,000. I had to get and spend $8,200 on something called a grinder pump. This thing that like grinds up the water to go down to the sewer, because that went out. So there was like flooded, the sewer system wasn't working properly. And then I had the whole kitchen remodeled, granite, master bathroom was redone, just so much cool stuff. And I got the house looking pretty much my ideal house. I had an interior designer that came in, that interior designed the whole house. And anybody that came over was like, this is like an amazing energy, an amazing space. I mean, I put my crystals, I have a whole bunch of crystals I put and gridded around the whole entire house. And it just had this perfect vibe. And I moved in pretty much like February of this year, and it felt great. And what I then found is that after, about a month or two, it kind of felt like something was missing. And then I'm wondering, like, is this like a personality thing? Like, is something missing because like I always need new stimulation? And it made me really kind of go within to think about it. But basically what I realized is that being in Sedona is a magical place. I used to go to Sedona from Vegas every like 3 or 4 months, and every time I'd go, I'd get activated, and then I would go back and it would like help take me to the next level. And even Sedona, Arizona, that's where they, back in the day, they would go for plant medicine. The tribes would go for like plant medicine to do inner work, and then they'd go back to wherever they were. But what I found is living in Sedona is amazing, it's beautiful, but this next phase of what I'm doing is I want to be doing live events. I want to be traveling a lot, and being in Sedona, I had to travel 2 hours to the airport. There were many aspects of it that just weren't vibing as much as I thought, but I was already so invested because I put all this money into it, bought a house, all of these things. So it didn't make sense for me to, kind of look somewhere else, but I had this strong feeling that either Miami or Austin was gonna be a place that I was gonna like find, it would be like a next chapter, or I was gonna do both. I was gonna go back and forth between Sedona and some other place. And then what happened is I had a lot of friends moving to Austin, and Austin, Texas, and I used to think Austin was gonna be like this like deserty place, and I'm like, man, I wanna get out of the desert. And finally came here to Austin, and was gonna go to Austin and then come back and feel it out, and then go to Miami to come back and feel it out. And also tax is a part of it as well. State income tax in Arizona is much more than that of where I'm from, which is Las Vegas, or Texas or Miami in Florida. So this is something I was thinking about. But basically what happened is I was going to went to Austin. Immediately from coming here, I felt like this is the place I'm meant to be. There's just something about it, some activating energy here. There's a lot of, the gyms out here are amazing. There's so much nature out here, it's unbelievable. The vibe out here of the houses was cool. Like, I just loved everything about it, the food, and I just knew immediately. And then what happened is I was out here for 4 or 5 days. The last day I was here, I was like, I know I'm supposed to be out here, and I want to start looking at places. And I already had some real estate people sending me places like MLS listings and stuff to rent, not to buy. And I kind of felt like I was going to buy, but I felt like I wanted to rent because the market here is so crazy for buying right now. But what happened is I ended up going to, I ended up having my assistant look really hardcore for like different places for me to see, so that the last 2 days I was here, I go look at houses because I wanted to find something quickly, because I just knew, and when you know, you know. So I was looking at different houses, didn't really see anything I liked that was crazy. And then what happened is I was invited to a dinner party. So this is dinner party with all these friends there. There's probably 30 people there. And at this dinner party I go to with a friend of mine, and I meet a lot of cool people. And one of the people I met there, I was telling him how I loved Austin, I can't wait to move here, and I'm gonna be moving here soon. And to find out that there's a guy there that has a house that he wants to rent out that's a mile away from this house that I'm in right now, which is this house. And he's like, I'm gonna be renting out my house, and I wanna rent to a friend, and I'm gonna rent it for cheaper to a friend just because I don't want a random person in my house. And he was gonna rent me this house for cheaper than, like, this house on the market would easily go for thousands of dollars more than what I'm paying per month. But he gave it to me for cheaper because he wants somebody that he wants in the house that he kind of knows of or knows, So making this new friend, it was kind of cool. And it just seems so synchronous, right? Well, what ends up happening is he shows me photos of this house. I immediately knew. I then came and saw it right after that dinner party with a friend, because there's like a lockbox thing on it, for to get in. I come in, I immediately know. And what then happens is he then decides that he says that he has either a friend that's gonna buy the house from him in like 6 months, but if his friend doesn't buy it, then potentially I could buy it. And it then opened up this thing to where what happened is, synchronistically, what I had to do is I had to let go of control, because the day before finding this house at the dinner party, I was trying to force things to happen. I was trying really hard to get like things to fall into place, and then I was like, you know what, I just gotta let go. And I was even talking to my friend Anna, and she was like, Aaron, you know that in 3 weeks when you come back, that's when you're supposed to find the house or figure it out. Stop trying to force it right now, you know that. And I was like, yeah, I do. I let go, and then go to a dinner party, and then I meet somebody that not only wants to rent me their house, but rent it to me during the process of while I'm going through like the paperwork right now to buy the house. And he's given me the house for like pretty much market value. And any house in Austin right now that's getting to the market, there's a bidding war, and people are paying like cash $100,000 over asking price. It's crazy. And I get to buy it off market. I get to buy it from a friend. I get to buy it pretty much at the price of what it's worth. It's crazy. And I love this house. It's in the perfect location. Everything worked well. But one thing I did when I realized I started to like the house is I started to kind of put it on a pedestal. I've done this. This is the weird manifestation technique that works like magic. What you do is you lessen the importance. I've talked about decrease importance. Anything you make really important, you create resistance around. But what I do is I imagine that this house and Austin in general wants me to live here. Now, it sounds like this egotistical thing, like, oh, it wants you to live here. But what I think of is I think of all the people I'm able to help. There's this universal collective consciousness that we're all connected to. So what we can do is we can know that the more we're in pure alignment with ourselves, the more value we add to other people, the more the universe brings you more amazing things because you're remaining in authenticity and in alignment. So what I've done before is, because back in Vegas, I remember I was going for a house that had a lot of competition. There were like 8 other people that were trying to get, that wanted this house, and I got the house out of everyone else because I tapped into and I saw the house as wanting me to live there. I thought of all the things that I could do and how I could create amazing content, but also I tapped into something that's called inner intention, which means that I tapped into the intention of the person that was renting me the house. What is their intention? Their intention was to have someone that takes care of the house, somebody that's clean, somebody that respects the house. So I sent them a letter, and I wrote them a letter that says, hey, I know there's a lot of other people that want to live in this house. I just want you to know that I work from home, and it's very important that I am in a house that I really feel inspired by, and your house is so inspiring and so such a nice open layout. And also, I don't have, I'm not like someone that has parties and all this stuff all the time. I'm very focused on what I'm doing. And I languaged it with their inner intention, which then allowed it to align even more. So I did the same thing with this house. I imagine that not only Austin wants me to live here, but in a way, this house is just so conducive to this next stage of my life for me to add value, to make content, to make videos. And because I tap into that, it then decreases the importance. It decreases things being on a pedestal, and it allows for more alignment. And that's why when we talk about manifestation as well, manifestation to me also like implies hands, because Manny means hands, like the root of it. So hands, control, think of control. Well, think of when you're in alignment, you don't have to control. When you're in alignment and you're following your passion and you let go of outcome, that's where the magic is. I let go of outcome because even the other person that wanted to buy this house, which is like his best friend, his business partner or something, I was like, you know what? I let go of outcome. I don't need to try to control this. Whatever's meant to happen will happen if I'm meant to have this house. But at the same time, there was an intention there of wanting it. So it's letting go of control is an aspect of this, but something that makes it easy to let go of control is realizing that this thing also wants you. It's almost giving it, like realizing everything is energy. If you're trying to manifest a relationship, as much as you want the relationship for yourself, imagine there's somebody else that you would add value to, somebody else that would love for you to be around them. You see, then you're tapping into their inner intention. So this is kind of a weird manifestation technique, but I found that it works magical because it helps us to decrease importance, to also get in alignment. So here I am in Austin now, been in this house for like 4 or 5 days, and it's all a part of this alignment and following it, even when it doesn't make sense. It didn't make much sense on paper. I'm so invested there. But then I found out as well that the house that I bought in Sedona, I bought for a certain price. It's worth like way more than what I paid with the renovations that I put into it. So even though I put $200 into it, it's worth like way more. So I'm making money. And then putting that into this house, and then it just worked beautifully. Because I was gonna go back and forth, but I'm realizing I want simplicity in my life now. But the key to this process is letting go of outcome, but also knowing that what you want wants you. And it's about also seeing what are you willing to like give in a way that adds value to the collective. Are you in alignment with your purpose, with your vision? If your desire is something that's just egoic, sometimes it can be resistance, but if your desire is something that also adds value, like my desire is to like do live events and be in alignment with what I meant to help give out into the world, but also doing what I love to do. So it's this mix of both things. That's a greater vision than just I want money in my bank account. Money in a bank account is a side effect of you doing your passion, of the value you put out into the world. So when you start seeing things from this perspective, it changes everything. And it makes it way easier as well for us to understand these different concepts. So there is also a meditation that can help you to raise your dominant vibration, which allows you to get more alignment. It's meditation we did originally on January 1st, and there is just so many comments from it. Look below, click the link to read the comments to see what's possible that increase the belief that you can also raise your dominant vibration so that manifestation is easier than ever. And it's linked below. If you like this video, like this video. If you're gonna try out this manifestation technique, let me know. Is there any weird manifestation techniques that you've used before that you found has worked? Comment below and we can, we'll like the ones that we like and see if we can all apply them as well. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.